Welcome to Ellis Mowers and Mower. Here we have another Troy Bilt Pony. I don't know how many of these I've resurrected here on the channel. This one is around a 2010 model, and I believe it just got parked. I don't think for any particular issue. So hopefully it just needs gas and a good refreshing belts and things along those lines. So we'll go ahead and get into it and see what we got to do with this Troy Bilt. I'll give you a quick walk around of the Troy Bilt here. Troy Bilt Pony, 42 inches, got the 7-speed Vari-Drive transmission in it. This has got we got a bad valve stem here on this tire that we need to replace. That ain't a big deal. This tire holds air good. I bet if it has a tube in it, it does. And then the two rear tires were replaced at some point and are holding air pretty good. I think the right one's a little bit low, but not too bad. These ponies have a Briggs & Stratton engine on them. There we go. This is a little wonky. 17.5 horsepower. And full. I mean, it looked like the oil just got changed in it, which is kind of crazy. Oil is full and clean, which is nice. Everything seems to be turning like it's supposed to. And battery cables are corroded. I've got ends here. We're going to replace those first, and then I'm basically going to put gas in it and see if I can crank it. And a battery, obviously. And we'll see. Check the blade. Actually, we'll do the manufacturer here. Like I said, I believe it is a 2010 model. From the serial number, the 5th digit is a 0, which indicates that it's a 2010. So we can confirm this with the engine cover here, and you can't see it, but the date code's a 10 on it. So 2010, 15 years old, shouldn't be terrible to get back going again. Let's check the blades. These don't look like MTD blades to me, but I could be wrong, so we may be swapping them out for some proper blades. And you know, just deck leveling and stuff like that. We've got one little tear in the seat right there just from weathering, but not too bad overall. Generally a little bit above average for what I get here. Like I said, this thing's set for a little while, and I'm going to put the battery cable ends on it, put a battery in it, put gas in it, and I'm just going to see if it cranks up before we go any further with this. Alright, so I've gotten the battery terminals replaced and recrimped, and put a little gas in it. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of varnish at the bottom of the tank. It was very, very little amount. You can probably see it, that little yellow. So I have a feeling that this carburetor is probably very gummed up. But nonetheless, let's just try. And I already kind of made sure all the safety switches and stuff were okay. So I do know that it will at least turn over before I put gas in it. That's what I did. And we'll have to replace the air filter. Not that big of a deal. Let me throw a little bit of this in here. I just want to see if it'll kick over. I don't think the little plunger on the carburetor is working because of how gummed up it is. So probably got to fix that. But let's see if it'll at least crank for us. We do need to do, obviously, a carb clean or something along those lines. What I am going to do, I'm going to grab my 1/2-inch wrench that's like got a blunt end on it. I don't know where I put it at, but I don't need it for this one. I just need a regular one. I'm going to get down here and we'll have to replace a fuel line here. It could be a fuel filter gummed up also. I'm going to get up under here and just pull this off, if it will allow me. Alright. I'm going to find a wire. There's probably going to be a lot of varnish coming out of this. Not terrible. Not terrible. Somebody's already cut the solenoid. So, let me grab a wire. And I'm going to just feed it up to the bottom of this thing. Maybe we'll have something good here. Penetrate through the jet a little bit, which I just did. So that's good. I think if we just ran this thing a little bit, it would go for us. Wonder if this one's got the little restrictor plate on the intake. Not bad. Let's see how our fuel flow is. It's not terrible. I just let this thing sit out and run for a little bit, see if it'll smooth out a little bit. It does have the Nicky carb on it, so it's not surprising that it's surging all over the place, but it doesn't matter if we plug it back in. It's just for aesthetics. But let's do this. Throw that away because I don't need that anymore. Before I throw a fuel filter on it and fuel lines, I just want to see. I also think that we have a nest up underneath this thing. So, a little bit of work to do here. Couple of 3/8 to get this off. It looks like both of the rear ones are gone, so we do have some headlight action, which is good. I know at least one of the bulbs is working, so from what I saw, I'm just going to pull this hood up and off for the time being. Just going to lay it around to the side right here. Just kind of like that. Hopefully not stress out the stuff very much. Oh, I think I see the issue right here anyways. The intake looks like it's pushed out from the carburetor, or from the block here. So what I'm going to do is actually turn it back on and see if, oh, let me do this. Intake leak at the intake right there. So that should be pretty easy to fix. I need to see the situation with the gasket and stuff back there. It could just be missing one. So let's look here. Or does it just need tightening up? Nah. Needs a little bit more than that. I don't know why it was getting pushed like that though. It's got one of them restrictor plate things on it. I don't think it was put on properly. That's what it is. Can y'all see that? Yeah. So I think the restrictor plate wasn't put on properly. We're going to get rid of that. So I think somebody's been in this a long, long time ago. Let's see. White, yeah. That's almost certainly what it is. We'll grab a rag, we'll wipe this away. Awesome. If we only have to do like fuel lines and a filter on this, that's going to be fantastic. In order for it to be good running wise. Alright, I think that'll be alright. That makes sense because I've never seen one like pushed out like that before. So that would make sense as to why it was like that. Looks marginally better. Let's see if that helps any. It has to. You would think. Intake in, but I know that restrictor plate thing was not helping matters at all. So I'm going to keep on working on this, see if we can get it right. Oh, part of it was probably because I didn't have the gas on, so let me try that real quick. So got a little bit of work to do. I may just put a new intake proper on this because I think it's just bent around for some reason. And this oil dipstick's not on right either. So we got a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna get these bolts off right here. And we're gonna see. Actually, I can do this right now because the rear ones are gone. So it won't take much for me to do this. Ooh, a little hot. Just a little hot. Alright, let's do this. There's our nest. So we'll get that out of here. With, I'll pull the vacuum out and vacuum all this stuff up under here. Yeah, we'll get that vacuumed up real quick. That way it ain't gonna run, but it's so hot now. And then I gotta figure out what I can do to get this flush again, which is probably gonna be changing out this plastic intake, which I believe has probably been warped because of the gasket not being put back on right. Alright, so we're going to, I got the carb, I took the bowl nut off and sprayed some carb spray in it again with some wire. I also sprayed some spray through these 3 holes right there in the carb. So that's good. I'll show you that it is running much, much better. It's like I would say it's probably like 95%. So could it be a little bit better? Yes. Maybe it'll clear itself up a little bit too, but at least it'll idle now too. So that's good. That's very good. I've got to leave for the day, so I've got to wrap this up at the end of a Friday. But I'll catch this back up on a Monday, and hopefully we'll get this thing basically ready to go. I do want to mention that I got the right front tire valve stem in. Break the valve stem off. I just used a flathead screwdriver, turned it sideways. Just in the bead, turned it sideways and pushed it out. If the bead's a little stuck, throw a little bit of oil in the bead, because you can separate it a little bit. Throw a little oil in the bead and slide it out. And that's pretty much all you got to do in order to get that out. Put the valve stem with a valve stem tool from the back side, and you're good to go. So we'll catch back up with this in a couple of days. I almost forgot to mention I replaced this as well. There was a lot of play in the other one, and this one's much, much better. So probably just warped from that gasket not being on correctly. And now that it's unrestricted and the fuel's flowing through the carb a little bit better, so a combination of that elbow and the carb spray and all that stuff going through the carb has gotten this running much, much better now. I think the valves are adjusted pretty good too, and the top of the engine is fully clean again. So very good. And now we'll catch back up next week. We'll put all this back on, find a couple bolts for back here in the back so that the cover stays on correctly. I got to change the transmission belts out, and the deck tension arm is frozen on this. Hopefully not the cable also, but the deck tension arm is frozen on it, and I have to get that freed up, and hopefully that gets the blades running again as well. Alright, so basically got it running good. Now I'm going to take it and put the transmission belts on it, because these transmission belts are wore completely out. First off, what I like to do is remove the mower deck on it, because it makes it a little bit easier to get to the transmission and stuff. So, or the belt. So you got clips on each side here. You'll see the one on the other side, and then you have a clip in the middle, in the front here, and then on the left side, if we go over there, you're going to have a clip. Let's see, right there, for your blade engagement cable that you need to take off, and you got to take the belt off as well on the front of this. So once you do that, you're in business, and you're able to slide the mower deck out on one side, and then that gives us access to the belts. You also want to go ahead and remove the battery also, so that you can have access to the belts from the back side here as well. So I'm going to do all of that. I'll show you what the belts look like, and then explain the process of putting them on, because it's a little bit difficult to film in a little battery hole here. Alright, so I got it on the mower lift here, and I want to show you the easiest way to do this. To start, push the park brake down all the way, take a 5/8 inch impact, pull off the double stack pulley, and that allows you to get the front of this belt off right here. And then what you can do, if everything's working correctly, is put it in 7th gear, release the brake, and what that does is it allows the rear the Varadrive pulley to come back a long ways, and you should be able to get this rear belt off fairly easily back here. Get it off the small pulley first, then get it off the Varadrive pulley, and then finally take a 15/16. Sometimes you have to move this rod out of the way a little bit so that you can get a socket onto that pulley, because you can't get around the guide, or you can't get around the frame with the belt with this pulley on it, I don't think. So somebody has tied up the safeties already, so that's what we got there. I'm just going to tuck those away for now and get this rear belt off. But it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. These 7-speed shift on the goes on the ponies aren't as particular about belts as the Broncos with the pedal drive, but here are your belts for it. A lot of times you'll find it under the hood as well. 754-0241, 754-04249 are the belt sizes and the belt numbers. Put these on. You can see the condition is pretty rough on these. The back one's even worse. So this mower should drive a lot better. And I got all the stuff freed up on the mowing deck. Looks like the deck has the wrong blades on it, so I got to change the blades out on it. And got all the pulleys freed here. This belt looks to me like it's okay, so probably leave it on. We've got this moving again though for engaging and disengaging, so that's very good. All of my pulleys and stuff are moving like they're supposed to. A lot of times, to save a lot of issue, I take that spring off there for the return, because a lot of times it overwhelms the spring to engage the blades, and also will cause this belt to fall off. So I'm trying to prevent that, so I may remove that spring right there, like I do a lot of machines, to help alleviate a bunch of issues. But we'll get the belts on first. So I know it may be a little difficult to see here. I'm going to try and get to where y'all can see. But what I did on the side, you'll see a little, for this deck adjustment arm here, there's an E-clip that runs through the frame. I took that E-clip off and slid this rod through the frame to free it up so that I could access the 15/16 nut here with an impact. And now what I can do is get this pulley, I don't know if I can necessarily get it off, but what I could do, if I can get it off, let me just work it a little bit here. So there we go. So get that, you don't necessarily have to take it all the way off, but it makes it a little bit easier to access things in here. And just move these battery cables up here to get them out of the way too. And we should be able to take this rear belt off now. It comes off the top part of the Varadrive pulley pretty easily, so, but you can see that rear belt. Probably the original belt that came on this. These do last a good little while, and they'll actually drive pretty well even with worn out belts. So, and then the other one, I'm not going to be able to get a good camera footage, but you just kind of come in here and reach around and move the pulleys and stuff around so that you can pull the belt out. Obviously I could cut this, but alright guys, so we're going to put the belts on here now. I've already put the lower belt on the bottom part of this Varadrive pulley here. You just have to feed it through and over kind of the cross member and stuff like that. Get it around these guides. You can just roll it around. Make sure that your Varadrive pulley is free to move up and down while you're down here, especially if the mower's been sitting for a while. And now we'll put on the top belt. Top belt is a little bit, it's not too bad to put on. One thing I do want to show y'all on the side here though, and I'll show you that rod that I was talking about as well that you've got to take off. And so let me get y'all here. We're going to take this. This is that rod for the deck height adjustment. And then there's a spring right here that you got to take off. That's right there. So that you can get the belt around. This belt was so bad I didn't even have to take the spring off to get it off. But I'm going to take that off now. And we'll get it around all the pulleys. Show you the best that I can anyways. How to get it around here. And a lot of times you can just take the spring off with a pair of pliers or a screwdriver, especially if the tension's already relieved off of it. So there we go. I know there's not really a lot that y'all can see right here, but I'm doing my best. So come over on this side. And what I'll do first is go ahead and put it around my pulley here for the main drive for the transmission. So we're going to do that. I've got it down here, wrapping it around, and then I'm just going to get it around the pulley and put it in the little star pattern here. Get my 15/16 nut. Making sure everything's on there right. And the good news is I don't have to worry about the Varadrive pulley because the guides are on the bottom. So that's good. Got it there tight, and then I'll grab my 15/16 with the socket there. So we've got that all on now. And then you can technically go ahead and put your adjustment rod back in if you wanted to. So this is what I've got so far. Let me get y'all off so that you can see it. So you kind of see it down there. So I've got it on the main pulley here, and then this pulley. And then what I'm going to do is push that arm for the little small tension pulley, wrap it around, and then I'll get that spring and put that spring back in. That arm's been stuck out for so long, I'm going to have to get a little WD-40 on it. Yeah, those belts have been stretched out for so long, a bunch of dirt and stuff has gotten where this arm is for the pulley. So I'm just going to work that back and forth a little bit. Get that back right again. I think we've got it. I'm going to put the belt over that. Grab me a spring here. Actually, I could pull the spring back in, which is pretty good. That's pretty rare that I can do that. But that's a benefit of having the transmission all the way back in 7th gear. So now what I'll do, put the park brake on, and that brings that pulley, that Varadrive pulley, forward. And now what I can do, and I'll show you this since we're going to be under the machine, is it gives me enough room to where I can get this double stack pulley back on. So you'll feed the belt over the top like that. We're going to put the double stack pulley back on here, and going to have just enough room to get it over that. May have to push it forward a little bit while we do this. Something's a little bit out of adjustment here. I don't know exactly what, but it's no big deal. Cheap little mower, but yeah, I'll push this in, get that double stack pulley on, get it inside these guides here, as you can see, and then we'll have the new belts on, which is great. Which will basically leave the only thing left for me to do is to put blades on it, and put the engine stuff back on it. Alright, so I got it back together again. Again, I slid the deck back on just exactly like I did the other. Took it off, leveled it using this side, and I used a couple of oil filter boxes to get the same heights because I can get them under there pretty easily. So that's that, and then put the engine cover back on. Still got a tiny bit of surge. Oh, put some LED headlights in it and stuff too. So a little bit of a surge on it still, but it's got the OEM carb, which is a plus, and I'm going to throw a little bit of motor treatment in there, throw a little gas in it, give it some run time. I'll let y'all see it whenever I get it out of the garage here. Whenever you do these belts, sometimes you got to put it up in high gear and put it either in forward or reverse. Just make sure you have a clear shot for these Varadrive pulleys and all the belts to set properly. You should be good after that though. So given all of that, I'm going to go ahead and finish this, or get this thing out here so that you can see it running, driving, and cutting. I do need to cut my grass, so I'll cut my grass with this afternoon and give it a good wash. Alright, so I'm going to show you that this thing runs, drives, and cuts now. And get y'all situated here so that y'all can see. Or at least we're going to test it. I haven't tested the blades out yet, but everything's free and moves, and hopefully the bearings aren't so bad that I'm going to have to replace them. I did put new blades on them because they did have old Craftsman blades on them, which are not the correct key size. So it's got new blades as well. I think I'll take it. Woo, hello. The park brake could use a little bit of adjusting, but like I said, this is a budget mower, so somebody's just going to use this thing and probably tear it up. It's like a $500 mower as it is, but you can see it runs good. I'm going to go cut some grass with it. So I'll cut some grass, get the yard taken care of, and rejoin y'all after I get this thing washed. It's not too bad shape as it is, but we'll give it a good wash so that we can get maximum money for it. Alright guys, it's close to the end of the day and got it all cleaned up, cut the yard with it, did very good, very well, and nice level cut. Of course, no scalp wheels and whatnot, so it is going to kind of go back and forth whenever you hit any undulations or anything like that. So give a look around here. There it is. Cleaned up very nicely, especially under the hood. And got pictures taken with it. Just had to put a little piece of duct tape on the seat right there to cover that crack, because dig a little bit of water in it and it would come out after you sit for a little while. Newish tires on the back, so that's good. Battery, good shape. Sometimes you have to wiggle this blade engage cable in order to get it to start. No big deal. That's pretty common on these after they get some age. And I did take that spring off of the mower deck for the disengagement, because it did cause the belt to come off, which is a very common thing too when the blade brakes wear down a little bit, that it will cause the belt to slip off whenever you turn off the blade. So it's not doing that anymore, and it's done. So this is good. Just needed, I don't know, 2-3 hours to turn this thing around at the most, and it's ready to go on to a new home. I'll probably list it for $550. I don't think it's a $600 mower. I don't think it's a $500 mower. So right there in the middle, for list wise, somebody comes and offers me $500, it goes to a new home. And I think I had under $200 in this mower after buying it and putting belts and blades on it as well. So got a nice little profit, probably about $100 an hour profit if you're thinking hourly here, for running wise. And as parts wise, just had to put blades on it, put transmission belts on it. Carburetor, I was able to bring back with a bunch of carb spray and a little bit of wire, and it's running good again. You know, running a whole lot better now, especially even after I cut some grass with it. So it's really good. And we've resurrected another Troy Bilt Pony. I don't know how many of these I've done on the channel, but it's probably been close to about 10 or 12 now. You can search on my channel, Pony, and you can see how much I have done. But thank you all again very much for watching. We got this Troy Bilt back going again. I really hope you all enjoyed the video. We got a lot more mowers coming here in the coming weeks as the season winds down and I get to work on a lot more bigger projects, but also more riders to sell either this season or in the coming season. Thank you all again very much, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.